Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the Dubai Sevens. This one, Fiji versus Argentina. It's a pretty big matchup in this group in the competition. Now, we've only got the 8 teams. It used to be 12. Before then, it was 16. Seems to be going smaller and smaller each and every year. But this game, Fiji versus Argentina, both sides real contenders for the overall series. Some experienced heads as well as a few of the younger players coming up through this side. But overall, it's going to be a great game to start off the coverage on the channel. Looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Argentines, it is Santino Zangara, Matteo Graziano, Santiago Alvarez, who is also going to be the captain for this Los Pumas side, Luciano Gonzalez. Everyone knows what that man was able to do last year. He's just a battering ram, full of muscle and just speed anytime he gets himself possession. Marcos Moneta, he is also in this side. Joaquin Palandini, and then also Santiago Federfeld, the last man in this Pumas starting side. For the Fijians, they have got Josefa Talafolo, Sevo Mothanofangi, Jeremiah Matana, who is the captain for Fiji, Filippo Bukayaro, Viwa Nadovalo, George Balsi, and Waisia Natongu. So pretty similar to what we saw last year for both of these sides. It's pretty much the bench where we do see the main changes. I will mention at the moment, Australia, they are playing the Spanish. They've got 5 minutes remaining in that contest, just separated by the 7 at the moment. 14 points to Australia, 7 to the Spanish. And then also we did see New Zealand versus Great Britain. That game separated by 7, 21-14 in favour of the Kiwis. So that is one thing, I guess, with the fact that there are less sides. I haven't seen too many people happy that there are less teams, but it means that there will be a lot more close games between the sides. But overall, I mean, I miss Kenya, miss Samoa, miss the USA. So many great sides not there anymore on the 7 circuit. In the chat, we have got their thoughts on 2026, as in like the year in general. The AI underdog, is that the question? G'day, Aaron says, Studs Rays, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Los Pumas Sevens world champions, and you pronounce the names like a pro. We've done a lot of games of sevens. We have not missed a leg since that 2020 Olympics with the full complete sides. I think we missed a couple of the African sevens legs way back in the day, but we've been doing a lot of the sevens on this channel for a long time. A lot of these guys have become more familiar than the rugby union players. Good morning, Hamish. Says, hey, no, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Currently at the Australians, they are leading by 7 with the 4 minutes remaining. I will mention also in the same group, France versus South Africa. It's a bit weird to see a side stacked like that or a group stacked like that, but that is what to expect from this new Sevens format. Yes, the year in general. I mean, it's come around very quickly. We're only a month away from Christmas. In fact, less than a month till Christmas. But yeah, I mean, 2026 sports-wise, there's a lot that is happening. There's Cricket World Cup. There's going to be the Rugby League World Cup. We've got the new 12 sides in Rugby Union going head-to-head. All that looked like a 4-pass from the Aussies, and they will go back for it. But once again, we will be looking through quickly at the benches for these two sides as well, because this is where you do see a lot of changes for the Argentines. Arrieta's there, Morales, Castro, Tubok, and then also Batak, the last man off of the bench. So we don't see Gaston Ravol. We don't see... Tell you what, there's so many players actually missing from this Argentinian side as a whole. But I feel like they've got their keys. We have good here. You call yourself a Kiwi streamer, but no Kiwi games. I don't really call myself a Kiwi streamer. You're the only one who tries to call me that, Kiwi Rob. But it was a good win for New Zealand up against Great Britain. I say we rack up that Nations Cup, as in get rid of it. The underdog pick. It does seem like it's trying to be a mini World Cup before the World Cup. The good news is we get to see all of those sides in actions, but you know, you see someone like a Belgium, they won't get themselves too much of an opportunity. But in terms of the Fijian Sevens replacements, there is Narongo there. There is also Funaki, Tario Vailawa. He was used more as an impact player last season, and it does seem like this year is going to be the same thing. We've got there Vakadrano and then also Sanila, the last man there. Your name is the Kiwi Lads. That's because I'm from New Zealand. But, you know, we've covered plenty of New Zealand games on the channel. I feel like you're just in the mood for an argument, Kiwi Rob. I don't know what you're complaining about. The New Zealand side's got themselves 2 wins, so had I done those games, what if they had lost? Then you'd say, oh, you're not a real Kiwi because you covered them when they were losing. But now scrum feet for the New Zealanders currently, for the Australians, almost got it mixed up, currently about 40 metres out from the line. Put it in the cabinet H. Says they are underdog pick. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those sides do go in the new competition, because it's pretty much going to be the same as what we have seen this year, except with the exception of no series per se. You do play everyone that once, and then from there you got that semi-final or final, I think is the way it goes. But yeah, currently 2 minutes remaining. I will mention that with these two sides, Fiji and Argentina, they have both got two very crucial games later on. We are going to be covering a lot of the URC, a lot of international rugby today as well. And then alongside that, it's going to be pretty much little updates of the sevens that has taken place. What's your grade on the boys? I assume that's the All Blacks rather than the New Zealand Sevens. But overall, like the All Blacks, they lost 3 games this year. I think it was the fact that the games that they lost by a big margin is the part that annoyed people. But I'll still give it a solid 7 or an 8 out of 10 for the season. We did learn a little bit. A few young players did get the opportunity, as much as people like to say that they didn't. But there were a few guys who got the run around. So I don't think it was the end of the world this season that the All Blacks had as a whole. We see another forward pass from the Australians, which does mean at the moment, the way that game sits, Spain are sitting with a bonus point. You're very generous, says Studs Rays. Yeah. But it wasn't bad overall. Rather that your Bok, yes, 8 is good. Says the underdog pick. And yeah, the Springboks, they are going head-to-head with Wales a little bit later on tonight. We've got the Bulls derby with the Lions in the URC. And then also Munster versus the Stormers as another matchup. So still probably another 10 or so hours of commentary coming up on the channel. We will miss Kenya Sevens on your live. The good news is Kenya are a part of the second division. And if they are showing it here in New Zealand, I am definitely going to be covering it on the channel. It is such a shame that Kenya aren't there. They seem to do it each and every year now. How Kenya do all the hard work to work their way back into the competition just to then kick them out again. Last year they were one of the most entertaining sides on the whole circuit. And no matter what happened, you knew if Kenya were on the field, there was going to be a lot of excitement. When is the match beginning? And it's only 2 minutes away for this matchup. So it is the first of the group. And then from there, South Africa versus France also taking place in the same pool. And then, yeah, eventually the two winners of these two games will have to play each other. And then that will end up with whoever finishes at the top, more than likely having the better semi-final seed. No longer do we have quarterfinals in the Dubai Sevens or any of the Sevens leagues due to the only 8 teams. Currently, the Aussies kicked that ball into touch and they have beaten the Spanish 14 points to 7. That is a big win for them. So at the moment in that group, it will be New Zealand and Australia as the top 2. And RP Gaza 2 Cents Rugby and also RP Gazamania in there says the underdog pick there. Yeah, very sad news for the rugby community throughout the week. And yeah, I've had a little bit of a chat to Mark as well, and hopefully he's doing all right at this stage. The thing is, he's still powering through making videos as well, which I think is even more impressive throughout the time. They are just talking to Maurice Longbottom at the moment on the sideline for the Australians. Looks like Dietrich Roach may have a bit of an injury in the background. That is the last thing that you want in these early matches, as players going down with any sort of injuries. Of course, it does test out that depth that they've got. Why do you think they split it up? Says Haino. I think World Rugby, they've tried to make it so that it's more presentable and a little bit more competitive, because they said about how they've had financial losses pretty much every single year that they've been doing it in the last little while, but then they have also been taking away sites. So it makes sense as to why they would be losing money. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be you still get the same entertainment, theoretically, in the groups. But it just, the underdogs, that's one reason why people watch Sevens, because they want to see those teams do extremely well. The ones like a Spain, who only a couple years ago, had they gone with this format, we would have never seen Spain flourish the way that they did. Sevens need to follow the IPL model, set up a location 2 or 3 weeks, take a month off, then set up somewhere else 4 or 5 rounds a year. Well, they kind of have done that. Last year they did it was called the Rugby Premier League. It actually took place in India, and they did pretty much do what you said, but just the once for the season. They did have international players flying over from Fiji, from Australia, from New Zealand, but the competition wasn't very well broadcast. And I did want to do it, but I didn't want to get a copyright strike, so we didn't end up even doing anything based around that RPL. But now Argentina and Fiji just about to take to the field. We have got their Tosa Fititoso, says Ryan, in there too. And also, good evening. Did you see the video 2 Sets did on his dad? I did indeed. I've seen most of the ones that have been coming out throughout the last couple of weeks, but Fiji wearing a yellow and green kit for this match by the looks of it. Argentina in their classic white and blue. There is Marcos Moneta. That man's got the nickname Money, and you will see exactly why when he does take to the field. I think Razor needs to finish his tenure, so lessons can be taught for everyone. Hold the floodgates too. Says our underdog pick. And also interesting, do you know if they got good crowds? They actually had decent crowds for that RPL from what I saw. They tried to get a lot of kind of the famous or famous-ish people involved in India just to try and push it. And to be fair, they didn't do too bad, I don't think, marketing-wise, but it's just no one covered it, if that makes sense. Like, that's where you kind of need, like, I don't want to say that we would have made a big difference, but we've covered a lot of sevens on the channel. We've been covering sevens for 4 years, so even just us mentioning it, might get an extra 100 people tuning in that didn't know it was on. But now Fiji ready to kick this one off from left to right, and we are underway for their first match of the Dubai Sevens. Loose ball knocked back by the Argentines, and Fiji managing to clean it up. Now it will be Viwa Nadovalo away to the left-hand side. Balsi with the inside pass to Sevo Mothanothangi, one of the bigger players around on the seven circuit, but straight in the breakdown, Luciano Gonzalez wins the penalty for Argentina. Did World Rugby not endorse it? I think it was through Rugby Pass TV that it was on, so I don't know whether or not, like, they let the players from the World Rugby Sevens circuit play in it, so I'd assume there would have had to be some sort of communication there, but I don't think World Rugby really promoted it either, mainly because they had just changed their own sevens format and probably didn't want to see another type of format doing better. Isn't the Sevens supposed to be here in Cape Town? It is next week, the Cape Town Sevens taking place. Now line-out throw here for Joaquin Palandini around the halfway line, nicely taken by Santiago Alvarez. Now the Argentines starting to move this one around. Luciano Gonzalez getting hung on to by Sevo Mothanothangi off to the left-hand side again. Passed on the outside. Space for Marcos Moneta. Trying to tackle him. Brilliantly done by Viva Nadovalo. Slowed him down at least. Moneta's running backwards, but onto his own 22. Numbers on the right-hand side for Los Pumas. All they have to do is get it through their hands, and that is what they do. Out wide, Zangara does score the try for the Pumas. He cuts back in, make it a little bit of an easier kick. That is the type of start to expect from these two sides. Just all-out pace. As Donovan non-playing today, says Briston. I'm not actually 100% sure if he's in the lineup for the South Africans. We will be going through that lineup straight before the French match, which is only taking place in about 17 minutes' time. I want to say I saw him on the team sheet, but I'm not 100% sure. We have got a dating app ad during a try, says Studs Race, and I have the girls beat France. They did, and also the Kiwi boys beat the Great British side. That kick has gone over from Argentina. I've just had the realization that I am actually the scoreboard for this contest, so what we will quickly do is we will add the 7 points to Argentina. They no longer have the automatic online scoreboard for this game, for this competition in general. What we will do is we'll go like that. We'll go like 1 second. We'll go here. Oh, ball's in the hands once again of the Argentines. There we go. We got that one updated now. Except we are now 3 minutes in to the contest as well. Big tackle made on George Balsi. Fiji in position just out from their own line at the moment. Another big step and a bump off. And it's something that you will always expect from the Fijians. It's just that power game when it's on offer. We got lucky though, says Kiwi Rob. Although in this format, a win is a win. And it's going to help boost you towards that semi-final. A little bit of a counter-ruck there from the Pumas in the breakdown, but nicely done by Natungu. Now trying to rip that ball away was Argentina, but Fiji currently in possession. Natungu on the short side. Another offload. That's a risky pass from Fiji. Sits up for Alvarez and Marcos Moneta. Huge amount of pace from the Pumas winger, and that is another try now for the Argentines. Why is Great Britain and why is it Great Britain, not Ireland and England? So it's based off the fact that in the Olympics they play as Great Britain, so they have combined that side for the in-between leagues as well. I just tuned in. I would not have known if it wasn't for you, my favourite Kiwi, says Krish. Yeah, I feel like the Dubai Sevens, like, don't get me wrong, I've seen a little bit of advertising, but that's because I spend most of my days on Sky Sport. But outside of that, with this new format as well, I feel like there hasn't been a huge amount of publicity. But normally it takes that one leg and then everyone gets fired up for the second leg. Cape Town just around the corner. Argentina missing that kick away to the side. And that is going to make the score now 12 points to 0 in favour of Argentina. So a very good start to this contest for Los Pumas. Marcos Moneta currently sitting all-time try scoring number 3. He is 3 behind Luciano Gonzalez with 156 on the board. We did 2, says the AI underdog. And also, because Great Britain is Wales and England and Scotland, if I'm not wrong, Kiwi Lad says Kiwi Rob. But yeah, so pretty much they did used to have all of those sides, but because they kept on cutting down the amount of teams, it meant that having Scotland, Wales and England in the format meant that you just didn't have a lot of room for other sides. So, and also with that Olympic group and the fact that they do play together in the Olympics, it made sense why they were combined. Nice run forward. Now Vuiviwa Nadovalo, he's got a huge amount of pace and no one's going to catch him. He just cut through a gap that he created himself, I will mention. Now that is going to be the 7 points on the board for Fiji. That is something that this new Sevens format has said it is going to offer, and that is back and forth type of matches, close games. Great try, says Hano. Yeah, brilliant run down the middle. Vuiviwa Nadovalo just had enough pace to be able to get around the outside of Graziano. And then runs it in, about a 60-metre run for Vuiviwa Nadovalo. And that is a good way to fire back into this contest if you are the Fijians. That kick has also gone over. I'd anticipate an Argentina victory over Fiji and hoping the start will lead to another Sevens title. And Dwayne is here, brother. Says Dwayne there. Well, saw a gap. That wasn't a gap. Says Studs Race. He just created it, really. He had the guy on him in Graziano and looked like he was shut down, but then just pretty much put the afterburners on. Went through the gap. Here's Vuiviwa Nadovalo with the position again, although it looked like a stealing opportunity in the breakdown for the Argentines. Looks like someone's boot has come flying off. Not sure who that is. Now, George Balsi colliding there with Palladini just outside of the 22. Still dragging him, George Balsi, and he's been hit hard enough that his headgear has come flying off. Off to the right-hand side, Mothinothangi, middle of the field again for the Fijian. Josefa Talatholo finds the classic. Fijian off the Vuiviwa Nadovalo, ball on the outside. It'll be another try for the Fijians. Jeremiah Matana runs it round, and now 1 minute remaining in this first half. We are back to level with a kick to come. But it's classic Fijian Sevens here. They concede a try or two, and then they just come back, create the opportunities themselves. We are almost already at halftime between these two sides, and it has been flying by so far. And Finley, I might be second pick. I had him as an incumbent too. Says he our underdog pick there. But yeah, in terms of that, anticipating an Argentina victory, I think that these two sides, they've been so evenly matched throughout their Sevens careers, or at least in recent times. But the thing is, whoever wins this game, we've got to remember, there is no longer a side that goes through as the third-ranked team in a group. That used to be a bit of a lifeline for these top sides, was if they made a mistake, they would get themselves the one more opportunity, and then from there normally do pretty well. And this top two of the group go through, and South Africa are in this group too. It's Vuiviwa Nadovalo. That man runs through another gap, and he creates another try between the posts. Fiji have gone from 12-0 down to now 19 points to 12 up, going into the halftime break. And he is willing to wind down this clock. That seems like it's a bit too many points on the board for Fiji. They may score 129 throughout the whole tournament, but I don't think they're scoring 129 from just this game. We reach the halftime period. Vuiviwa Nadovalo, what a great start to his Dubai Sevens. He has already got himself the 2 tries. He honestly could have had a third as well if he really wanted to, but he was unselfish in that second try setup of Jeremiah Matana. I'm appalled, says Katsanel. They started so well, the Pumas. They were putting pressure on, but from there, Fiji have dominated possession, and that is normally what will win you a game in Sevens. I would have to say Argentina in the last maybe 5 minutes of this game have only touched the ball once with that running intercept from Marcos Moneta. Outside of that, it has been all Fiji as they try and make a bit of a statement in the early stages of this Dubai Sevens competition. But that is exactly what they've been able to do. Just try after try in a row as well. That is the one big bonus. They have fully taken the momentum in this case. And well, you blink and the score is 12-0. You blink again and it's 12 points to 19. Did you see the Dragons Leinster game? I think I saw Leinster got the win 24-10 or 24-12. Is there anything controversial from that game? Hey, no, it was actually during the match of cricket that I was coaching, so I wasn't able to cover it on the channel. What happened, lad? Well, the Pumas started well. They had a 12-0 victory, or at least a 12-0 lead at that point in time, and then from there, Fiji fired back. Now, currently, Argentina would still get themselves a bonus point for being within 7, and I do think that is the bare minimum. And cut shapes there, took a right angle at base. Hopefully, Argentina get themselves back into this. Says Studs Rays, and yeah, this Pumas side are strong enough that it wouldn't surprise me if they were then able to score 1 or 2 tries in quick succession here, heading into the second half, and it is such a quick half. When is Benetton playing? Are you also covering? Benetton played Ulster this morning at the same time as Leinster played the Dragons. Big win for Ulster in that contest. The Benetton boys didn't quite get going. I think they lost by about 30 points in the end for that matchup. But do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen, and also in general for this group. Who do you think is topping it? Argentina, Fiji, South Africa, or France? That is the equivalent of what would be a very strong semi-final matchup. But that's not the case. It is here happening as a group stage fixture. And I also played some good game, or some good rugby, says Hayno there. Now it's going to be kicked off by Argentina, and we are back underway for the second half of this fixture. Slapped back by Argentina. Actually a repeat of what we saw in the first half. But this time they have managed to retain that ball, and the penalty goes the way to Fiji. George Balsi and the breakdown for Fiji and South Africa. I'm tense, says Dwayne there. Yeah, South Africa, France, that's going to be an outstanding game as well. And like I mentioned, there are no easy warm-up games. What pitch are they playing? They are on the Dubai Sevens field. I think it's called, what is it called? The Dubai International Stadium, is it? Can't quite remember its name. 2027 says the AO underdog pick. I think England versus South Africa in a semi is dangerous. Says the AO underdog pick. And where can I watch? Says Waisia. So it is available on Rugby Pass in some locations around the world. I definitely recommend checking out the World Rugby Sevens website, as they have a big tab at the top where to watch, and that will tell you, depending on the country that you're in, what your broadcasting options are. The Sevens Stadium in Dubai says Kiwi Rob, but that one's going to be thrown into the front, nicely taken by Jeremiah Matana, 50 metres out from the line at the moment for the Fijians, but they have got the position, and that is the main thing that they need at the moment. Another step coming. Trying to get through was Seville Muthanothangi, couldn't quite. Trying to wrestle for this position in the breakdown. Argentina, they've got about 2 or 3 players in there, but nicely protecting it was Filippo Bucayaro. Now George Balsi running sideways. He's pretty much given up on that headgear. He's tried it a couple times. Both times it's fallen off, so he said, nah, not doing it anymore. And it looks like Jeremiah Matana, he might be feeling about the same way at the moment. He is keeping it on just for now. Nice step in from Filippo Bucayaro. Almost went through. Can't quite get the offload in the breakdown. Alvarez putting the pressure on. Now another pass across to the right-hand side for Fiji. Trying to cut through was Vuiviwa Nadovalo, who gets the offload on the outside to Nathungu. Nadovalo at the moment, he is definitely a man-of-the-match contender with how he has started this contest. Just 5 minutes now remaining on the clock. Another step. Seville Muthanothangi, big driving shot on him. I feel like at the moment Argentina, they're missing their big man and someone like a Herman Schultz. And also no Asatsuk for this match either. Now Fiji still in position, a little bit slow getting back up to the feet. One of the Argentinian defenders, I believe that is Graziano at the back. Now George Balsi looking for the offload. One more pass. That was close to Bucayaro being in touch. In fact, he almost stopped as if he was. They cut it back to the right-hand side now. Still losing meters. Another offload from Balsi. Seems like at the moment Fiji are just having fun out there looking for continuous offloads. Another one over the top. Beautifully done by Seville Muthanothangi. Gets it to Filippo Bucayaro, and that'll be another try for the Fijians, or at least it should be. Throwing it back on the inside one more. It looks like this time it will be George Balsi who does get the try, and it's a nice, easy conversion as well, and that is smart from the Fijians. They know how crucial points will be in this contest up against Argentina, and those extra 2 could be the difference between Argentina making their way through to the next stage and missing out. And Fiji are relentless. Yeah, they found their rhythm here, but they were almost toying with the Argentines there. The way that they were just jogging towards the opposition line, waiting for those offloading opportunities. What new countries are featured this time around? No one whatsoever. Only the 8 sides involved. We have got there, I don't know if you saw, Rugby World Cup draw will be on Sky Sport at 10 PM and live on Rugby Pass. Yep, it's going to be a big one. I'm hoping that we get to see a massive opening fixture for the Australians. 26 unanswered points. It's a danger of Fiji and Sevens. If they find their rhythm, they are going to be hard to stop. And already it does seem like they've come into this match knowing that this is one of those crucial games. How I miss Rugby Sevens, says Krish. We have got there, hey Hamish, is your birthday Tuesday? I think so. If Tuesday's the second, then yes. And Argentina look like they're gassing. How long was that possession? Honestly, Fiji have had the possession the last about 8 minutes of this contest, but in terms of just that general play, it was probably a good 90 seconds or so for the Fijians, just hanging on to that ball, finding offloads, forcing tackles from Argentina as well, just to kind of sap that gas tank. Come on, Springbok Sevens. Says Briston, yeah, they are playing just around the corner. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too. Beautiful take under the high ball there for the Argentinians. Almost a tip tackle on one of their replacements. I believe that would have been Arietta in that case. Now Luciano Gonzalez trying to drive through this Fijian defence. Rugby World Cup 2027. Opening game will be Wallabies versus Seed 1. Yep. Yeah, so it means that they will have someone in that top 6. For me, I hope that it's either New Zealand or South Africa. I feel like that would be a great opening contest. Or if it's someone from the north, I'd love to see it be England. Are you going to do a live stream breaking down of the pools and games to watch, or a video doing the same thing? Says Kiwi Rob. So we are going to be live for that World Cup draw, almost jumping into that tackle for Sebastian de Boek. Oh, that's a huge bump off from Luciano Gonzalez, sitting down the Fijian defence, and this is the chance that the Pumas need. Running sideways, cutting back inwards. Nice offload there, Ariata looking for another one, and it goes to Voiviwa Nadovalo, who has just been absolutely everywhere. How long do the Sevens work? Do they play tomorrow also? Yep, so they have got the second day of the Sevens tomorrow. Sometimes it has been 3 days, but this year it is just the 2. And also just the 8 sides involved. Oh, Josefa Talatholo thought about the offload for Fiji. Gives the ball away to Argentina, who now have the counter-attacking charts just on the 22. Another offload coming. Seems like no one. Oh, Graziano. Lack of ball security. Or was it? No, it's going to be a yellow card for Fiji. Snapping the ball out of the hands of the opposition. Quick tap wanted to be taken by Vetterfeld, but they will go back, and it looks like already the players are really feeling the heat out there. We saw that in the Rugby World Cup qualifying matches, the likes of Samoa versus Belgium. Those 2 sides were out on their feet for the second half. We have got there, could you do a video afterwards breaking down the playoff structure, says Hano. We can indeed. We'll probably be looking through at that as well while that live stream is going on. We'll give ourselves a good, I don't know whether we'll go 30 minutes or an hour beforehand, just to be able to explain it all in terms of where sides will be going. I don't know what their yellow card was for, so it was for a deliberate knockdown per se from Vacadrano. He ended up slapping it out of the hands of the Argentinian player. He is allowed to rip it away, but did pretty much just slap it out of the hands. When is that new 14's name for Stormers? Or what is that new 14's name for the Stormers? Is that Dylan Mart? I believe it might be. I think he signed for the Stormers this year. So Sevens doesn't have Team Britain. But have England, or did I mishear you? So England for that World Cup opener was the one I was mentioning. Great Britain in the women's and the men's for the 7th circuit. Now running forward, Argentina can't quite get that next offload away. They've still got 100 seconds remaining, and they've scored the try now, Argentina. Now this is about the time that we should mention. If these 2 sides are even at the end of this matchup, we go to golden point time, which is the last thing that either of these sides would want. Although, to be fair, I think Argentina would take golden point time at this stage if it meant that they still had a chance of going on to win this game. Dilemat from the Griquas. That one's gone over. How South Africa Sevens, they did pretty well throughout last year. They are going to be playing up against the French in their first match, taking place in only 1 minute time. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. But 26 points to 19. The kick is successful from Argentina, which means they need one more try here. And that would get them in the right direction towards a draw. I thought it ended in a draw, does it? I love the golden point side, so if it does end in a draw, it would be slightly disappointing, but you might be right. Now the convergence is studs race. And in this shortened group, it means that points differential could be absolutely crucial for these sides if that is the case. They still feel like it's been left too late, says Getzenau, although theoretically they only need the ball once from here. But they are going to be defending the line out. Argentina about to be thrown in by Tario Vailawa. Goes in over the top. That's a good move from Fiji. Managing to retain it. 21 seconds remaining. Voiviwa Nadovalo. They're starting to jog backwards here, Fiji. They've shut up shop and it's a knock on. I think that may have been, I don't know, maybe the switch, that dangerous attacking switch of Fiji was gone. And now they've given Argentina an opportunity to go for one last chance here. That is the danger. They switched off They decided they had won the game, and just a casual pass on the outside turned into a knock-on, and now Argentina will get the last opportunity of this match. Sitting 26 points to 19 at the moment. Every game has been split by 7 points on the men's side of the draw so far, and it seems like this one could be going in the same direction. Well, don't give me hope, says Gatsanel. There's a chance. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. And still 6 players do see studs raise. That is true for another 5 seconds. Argentina looking to the short side. There is the siren sounded. They have got numbers on the left. They know that they have to score close to the post. Here's Marcos Manera. Another step, another fend offloaded on the outside. Argentina managing to regather the ball. There's the knock on. Fiji kick it into touch, and that is a bit of a thrilling contest to start off this group on the Sevens. But what we will be doing is now transferring over to the next live stream. That is South Africa versus France. So I will see you all in about a minute's time for the next game of the Dubai Sevens.